Web3 TV.
Welcome back to another interview at the Kamikaze Tuesday event in Dubai. I'm Adele, the host. Today we have Vatsal with us, the twin brother of Vyas. Vatsal, I enjoyed your presentation today. Give us a quick intro about yourself.
Sure. I'm Vatsal. I'm the CTO of Apta. Apta is an AI spin-out from the University of Cambridge, where we build domain-specific co-pilots. Besides that, in terms of my background, I did a PhD at the University of Cambridge in NLP, Natural Language Processing. And besides that, I've also had experience as a researcher with the Language Understanding and Relevance team at Meta.
Brilliant. Quite a handful there. Tell us a bit about your presentation today. What was it about, and why are you so passionate about AI?
Sure. In terms of the presentation today at the event, I was talking and introducing Chatoshi. So Chatoshi is our domain-specific co-pilot for the crypto space. So this is where Apta is collaborating with Hero, which is native to the crypto space, to build this product Chatoshi, which is kind of like this one-point access for all your crypto needs.
Right. Chatoshi was it sounds like a very interesting innovation. You did some great simulations I saw on the screen, answered some questions in a very, very efficient manner. Where are you looking to take this?
So I think one interesting direction for Chatoshi, just to give a bit of context of how it works underneath the hood, is that you have this question which comes in from the user. And to be able to answer that question, we don't rely on the large language model itself. It just acts as kind of our interface between the user and our brain of the system. The brain of the system is kind of composed of lots of different agents, which are each bespokely designed for a very specific purpose. So where I see this going in the future is that all the agents developed so far are in-house. This is what we have developed. But to be truly comprehensive and be able to access all kinds of data, I think the real next step is when we start integrating other people's agents as well. So this really requires some kind of standardization of protocol, which often is known as MCP.
Right.
So this is where I kind of see the next steps for Chatoshi in the future.
So this needs to happen in order to take this to the next level. And that also requires third parties to integrate MCP protocols. Is that right?
Yeah, so actually I would argue we're already at the next level.
Okay.
So this is to go to the ultra level of where we want to be able to take everything into one go. And in terms of third parties having these MCP servers integrated, yes, they need to do that. But this is where I see an opportunity for middleman companies. There can be this like one company which goes around and builds these servers for lots of different third parties so that they can integrate with this kind of mothership LLM.
Now, you mentioned servers. How reliant is this technology on servers?
So when we're saying servers, I think the beauty of this MCP protocol is that the hardware can also be decentralized. So what we mean by that is like from a privacy point of view, many consumers, let's say, or certain clients will not want to give the data to us because they have certain privacy records. They don't necessarily trust us fully to be able to give that data away. That is kind of their, I guess, secret sauce and their business model. So what this enables is by having a protocol or how they can communicate with our systems, they can maintain the data on their servers, their own computers, and also the agents can sit on their servers and run everything there on their own hardware. And this means that data never leaves their system. It just communicates the relevant parts with our system when answering a user's query.
But is this an example of a centralized server framework as opposed to decentralized?
So yes, it's a mixture, I would say, because the mothership itself is centralized. And centralized access to certain agents. It's just able to interface with decentralized agents, which could be hosted anywhere.
Could it be a case that the servers themselves could be decentralized as well as the MCP protocols?
Yeah, it's very much possible. That could be the next evolution down the line.
I don't think we're there yet. We still see the likes of Amazon Web Services, AWS, still on a central server, and Google Docs, Google Drive, still on a central server. Why do you think the likes of these big conglomerates are still using centralized systems?
I think it's multifold reasons. One is simply because of documentation. When someone's in charge, when something goes wrong, you want someone accountable. You need someone to give you access. And when there's lots and lots of people using these centralized servers, people can like rely on this robustness, which is very, very important in any kind of software product, that when something goes wrong, you have a method to quickly diagnose it. Because if you have high traffic on your product with millions of users, every minute of downtime is very expensive to you as a company. So having this decentralized setup, there runs a risk of not being as maintainable as centralized servers, which I think explains this like mammoth kind of movement away from centralized to decentralized.
Right. I think that is the future for especially the Web3 space, because they do want that decentralized nature to know that we're not relying on one place. But it does take quite a bit of effort for and time, and I suppose like you said, accountability. Who's
For
going to be
sure.
accountable?
Exactly. It's a trade-off.
It's a trade-off.
Yeah.
Brilliant. That was a great interview. Thank you, and great presentation. So, going forward, what is next for Chatoshi?
So going next, I would say for Chatoshi is we're at a point where we believe the product is already useful.
Right.
It can already do lots of very clever things with the system. You can ask questions like about certain tokens, about influencers, about the blockchain, do various kinds of analyses on the product itself. So now we're at a point we want to get this out to the consumers and get real feedback from people, what they like and what they don't like.
Right.
So that will dictate our next steps. We want to
Brilliant.
build something which is directly useful for our consumer base, not just what we believe to be useful.
Brilliant. Amazing. That's great. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks so much for watching. Hope you found this insightful. We'll leave all the links in the description so you can check out Vatsal's profile. Thank you again. I'm Adele, the host, and I will see you next time. Cheers.
Web3 TV.